You're welcome once again to this channel. I want to speak today on principles of software testing. Software testing is becoming very important in our times because of the uh, expansion and increase in the use of software in basically every facet of life. And so talk about e-commerce, talk about banking, talk about aviation, right? Businesses generally depend on software. And it's very important for us to determine the integrity of these software before they are moved to the live environment. Okay, so today I'll be speaking on the 7 principles of software testing. Principle number 1, testing shows presence of defects. Right, so testing can prove the presence of defects but cannot prove absence of defects because it is likely the test used did not uncover all the defects. All right, so we cannot guarantee that the tests you're going to do will uncover the defects. Okay, so by the time you finish a particular software test project and the results are published or the results are communicated, we should realize the fact that yes, those are the defects we have found. That does not guarantee the fact that there are no other defects. All right, so the fact that you have tested, all right, and you have discovered maybe 200 defects in the software does not guarantee the fact that there are no other software defects in that software. That is what that principle basically means. Testing shows the presence of defects, all right, not absence of defects. All right, principle number 2, exhaustive testing is impossible. It's still tied to the first principle. All right, exhaustive testing is impossible. It is impossible to test all possible conditions. All right, it's what we call test conditions. So it is not possible for all test conditions possible. Okay, so you can't do, nobody can say I've tested all the scenarios possible. It's not possible. All right, so that's why we use risk assessment to determine areas of priorities. So Pareto rule also is applicable here, 80-20 rule. All right, so we need experience. All right, we need risk assessment. We need combination of test techniques. So you cannot just say, okay, I'm going to just use just one type of test techniques. Okay, maybe just dynamic testing, and that's all. Okay, so you want to do static testing, you want to do dynamic testing, all right, so that you can at least as much as possible minimize the risk. So, but the fact is that you cannot do, you can't do exhaustive testing, it's not possible. All right. Principle number 3, early testing. All right. So the earlier testing starts in the software development life cycle, the better for everybody. What do we mean by that? Right? Let's assume you are going to develop a software for a customer, right? A vendor contacts your software development company that they need a software, okay? And they gave you requirements or what the software will be doing for them, right? But somehow your business analyst, system analyst, they got the documentation of the requirement wrong. So the requirement they passed to the programmers were wrong. So what it means is that if you don't have tests built up even as early as the requirement stage, all right, the requirements that have been passed on to the programmers will be wrong. So everything that will be done from that point, upwards is going to be wrong. So imagine you now get to the point where the software is ready, we've done all the technical tests or the quality assurance test. Okay, they will now call the users, the company, the client to come and do UAT. And that was at that point, the point of user acceptance testing. That's why everybody now discovered that we got the requirement wrong. We don't want that to happen. Okay, so that is going to be very, very, very costly. Okay, basically you are starting all over. So that's why we always encourage testing to be done as early as possible. All right. So we also have principle number 4, defect clustering. All right, principle number 4 is defect clustering. Okay, application of Pareto's rule also here, 80 20 rule. Most of the defects will be concentrated in some modules. All right, statistics in software testing have proven that. Okay, so you have a particular module with a particular software with 20 modules. Most of the defects you will find, you are going to find in that software will be concentrated in just 3 modules. All right, that is what defect clustering is talking about. So that is a rule, that a principle that is obtained from the field, all right, from experience. That, all right, most of the defects you are going to find in the software is going to be concentrated in selected modules. Okay, principle number 5 is pesticide paradox. All right, tests can become ineffective in finding new defects if used repeatedly. So the same test you are doing, the same test techniques you are using over and over and over, right? After some time, you will, because you have exhausted the use of that test technique. Okay, so you will not find new defects again. So they got it from, that's how they call it the pesticide paradox. So for example, you are using a particular pesticide over and over and over and over and over and over. After some time, the plant will start, the weed will start developing resistance, all right, to that particular pesticide. After some time, the pesticide becomes useless. Okay, that is, so they do that from agricultural field. Okay, where the continuous usage of a particular pesticide become ineffective over time. So the same thing, we are using a particular test, all right, over and over and over and over and over. After some time, you will not be able to get new defect. So maybe you are a boundary value analysis specialist, and that is just what you know in software testing, and that is just all you are just every time, right? So there are some defects that will be outside that you will not be able to discover if it is just one single test technique you are using. All right, so that's principle number 5. Principle number 6, testing is context dependent. I like this. All right, testing is context dependent. All right, so testers must consider the specific purpose since the software you will be used for. All right, so the kind of software testing you're going to do, all right, where you are testing for software that's going to be used for a safety critical process, you can't compare it with the software testing you will do for for an e-commerce website or online advertisement websites. Okay, so the kind of tests we are going to perform, the level of test we're going to perform is dependent on the context, right? It's content dependent. The software, what is it going to be used for? Is it an e-commerce application? Is the so imagine the kind of test you are going to need for maybe an autopilot system in aviation. You know what is dependent, what is at stake. So you always look at the context, the environment, okay, before you determine the kind of text and the level of due care and the rest. All right, so the last principle, which is principle number 7, absence of errors fallacy. Absence of errors fallacy. Right, finding and fixing defects will not add value if the software cannot meet users' business requirements. Like the example I gave on early testing. So you have the clients, all right, giving you requirements. Then the system analyst at your end, they made mistake, or our business analyst, they didn't get the requirements correctly. Okay? So they documented wrong requirements and passed it to the developers. All right. Now, it does not matter the level of tests you do, for that kind of software, it's all a waste. Okay, because the users are going to reject it at the end of the day. So do hundreds of tests, do thousands of tests, it is not going to add value. All right, it's not going to make sense at the end of the day. When the user, everybody's complaining, no, this is not what we asked for. Okay, this is not, we can't use it. It can't, right? It cannot meet legal requirement, cannot meet contractual requirement, cannot meet the regulatory requirement. So, we are rejecting it. So, what's the point of testing again? So, that is what that principle is talking about. Absence of errors fallacy. That is, it is letting you know the importance, the very much, the importance of requirements. Get your requirements right first before you start talking of technical test. Okay, so that's that. with this lecture, Principles of Software Testing. My name is Akinwale Akinjia. If you have enjoyed this particular presentation, kindly like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.